Hello folks and welcome back, it's Eerie Storytime. Today we are once again headed to the northeastern United States for a peek into the shadowy legends of a mighty beast. Towering white, ghostly, and impossible to kill, the Specter Moose of Maine is no ordinary animal. For over a century, hunters and hikers have claimed to see this phantom beast vanish into the mist. Is it a trick of the forest, or a legend come to life? Let's jump right in and you can decide for yourselves. The late 1800s. The vast, untamed wilderness of Maine, a land of dense forests and hidden secrets. It was a time when whispers of strange encounters began to surface from the depths of the North Woods, whispers that spoke of an extraordinary creature, the Specter Moose, a being of legend and mystery. Loggers, trappers, and Native American tribes, people intimately familiar with the rhythms of the forest, returned with tales that sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened folk, tales that were hard to believe yet impossible to ignore. A creature of immense size, they said, dwarfing any moose any man had ever laid eyes upon, a giant among giants. They spoke in hushed tones of its ghostly white coat, a stark contrast against the dark, brooding backdrop of the deep woods, making it an ethereal presence. Its eyes, they claimed, glowed with an otherworldly luminescence, piercing the veil of night and striking fear into the hearts of those who dared to meet its gaze, a gaze that seemed to see into one's very soul. These initial accounts, fragmented and shrouded in fear, were like seeds sown in the fertile ground of imagination, growing with each retelling. Each telling added a new layer of intrigue to the growing legend of the Specter Moose, weaving a tapestry of mystery that would captivate the attention of generations to come, a story passed down through the ages. The legend, once confined to the shadowy corners of campfire stories, began to seep into the collective consciousness of Maine's inhabitants, becoming a part of their cultural fabric. The Specter Moose, born from the whispers of the North Woods, was no longer just a figment of overactive imaginations. It was becoming a tangible presence, a specter haunting the fringes of reality, a legend that lived and breathed in the hearts of those who believed. Those who claimed to have encountered the Specter Moose described it in detail, their words painting a vivid picture of a creature that defied the bounds of the natural world. They spoke with a mix of awe and fear, their voices trembling as they recounted their experiences. Towering above its earthly counterparts, the Specter Moose was said to stand at an imposing height, its head brushing against the canopy of the tallest trees. This immense stature alone was enough to inspire both wonder and dread in those who saw it. Its antlers, vast and intricate, seemed to stretch endlessly outwards, sometimes reported as resembling the bare, skeletal branches of ancient dead trees. These antlers were not just large, they were almost otherworldly in their complexity and size compared to normal moose. But it was the creature's coat that truly set it apart, a characteristic that would become synonymous with its spectral reputation, a coat of pure spectral white, as though all color had been leached from its being, leaving behind only an ethereal glow. This glow seemed to pulse gently, adding to the creature's ghostly appearance. It was a stark contrast to the dark, earthy tones of the forest, making the Specter Moose an unmistakable apparition against the backdrop of the wilderness. The contrast was so striking that it seemed almost like a vision from another realm. Witnesses spoke of an otherworldly aura that surrounded the creature, a faint shimmering luminescence that seemed to emanate from its very core. This aura was said to be both mesmerizing and unsettling, drawing the eye and yet instilling a deep sense of unease. This ghostly glow, most pronounced around the creature's head and those unsettling luminous eyes, only added to the growing unease surrounding the Specter Moose. The eyes in particular seemed to pierce through the darkness, watching silently. Some whispered that the glow was most intense when the creature moved, leaving a trail of shimmering light in its wake. This light trail would linger for moments, almost as if the forest itself was reluctant to let go of the creature's presence. This ethereal light, they claimed, was not a reflection of moonlight or any earthly source, but rather an intrinsic property of the creature itself, evidence of its otherworldly nature. It was as if the Specter Moose carried a piece of another world within it, a world that was both beautiful and terrifying. Over time, accounts of encounters with the Specter Moose began to multiply, each tale adding a new layer of intrigue to the growing legend. The stories spread like wildfire, whispered among locals and travelers alike, each person adding their own embellishments to the already mysterious creature. A group of lumberjacks working late one evening claimed to have seen the creature emerge from the thick fog that blanketed the forest. They described it as a ghostly figure, larger than any moose they had ever seen, its antlers stretching wide like the branches of an ancient tree. They spoke of its absolute silence as it moved, its massive hooves seemingly gliding over the forest floor without a sound, defying the laws of nature. The lumberjacks were left in awe and fear, unable to comprehend the spectral being they had just witnessed. A lone fisherman casting his line in a secluded lake swore that he saw the Specter Moose standing on the water's edge, its ghostly form reflected in the still surface. The sight was so surreal that he questioned his own sanity, wondering if it was a trick of the light or a figment of his imagination. According to his account, the creature turned its luminous eyes towards him, holding his gaze for what felt like an eternity before simply fading into the mist. The fisherman was left with a haunting memory, one that he would recount to anyone who would listen. Perhaps the most chilling accounts were those of hunters who claimed to have come face to face with the Specter Moose in the deep woods. These seasoned men, familiar with the forest's every sound and shadow, found themselves unnerved by the creature's otherworldly presence. They spoke of following the creature's tracks, drawn deeper and deeper into the wilderness, only to find that the tracks would abruptly stop, as if the creature had simply vanished into thin air. The hunters were left standing in the silent forest, questioning the reality of what they had pursued. These encounters, though varied in their details, shared a common thread. The Specter Moose would appear without warning, often shrouded in mist or shadow, and would vanish just as quickly, leaving behind no trace of its presence, save for the chilling memory of its spectral form and those glowing eyes. As the legend of the Specter Moose spread, so too did the interpretations of its presence. Some believed it to be the ghost of a moose, perhaps one that had met an untimely end and was now doomed to roam the earthly plane. Others saw it as a harbinger of misfortune, a creature that appeared as an omen of bad luck or impending danger. Still others, drawing upon Native American lore, interpreted the Specter Moose as a powerful spirit guardian of the forest, a protector of the natural world and a symbol of the delicate balance between humanity and nature. They believed that the creature only revealed itself to those who posed a threat to the forest's sanctity, serving as a warning to those who dared to disrupt the delicate equilibrium of the natural world. The interpretations, as varied as the individuals who held them, only served to further cement the Specter Moose's place in the realm of folklore and myth. It became a Rorschach test, reflecting the beliefs and fears of those who encountered its legend. Was it a benevolent protector, a vengeful spirit, or simply a figment of our collective imagination? The answer, it seemed, lay somewhere in the swirling mists and shadowy depths of the North Woods. That's a wrap on the story of Maine's Specter Moose. Certainly not what most people would think of when it comes to the look and behavior of a moose. Also, not exactly fitting of the profile of Bullwinkle either. Hopefully at least someone out there will understand that reference to the old Rocky and Bullwinkle show. Thank you for joining me on another delve into the shadows of folklore. If you enjoyed today's video, please do the channel a favor and like and subscribe. Also, I'd love to see your thoughts down in the comments. Until next time.